Hey there. Hey there, hey there, hey there. Good morning. Good morning, VeeFriends. Gonna make some comics today. Gonna be working on some, I don't know, we might dip back into this one about the black cat today. If you're watching on a replay over on YouTube, make sure you say hello in the comments. I am DJ Kaufman, the director of comics and storytelling here at VeeFriends. Good morning. Coffee's nice and hot. We're going to work on some comics here. Just in my studio here, working on some of the future Sunday comics by Gary V and myself. So, if you're not familiar with VeeFriends, VeeFriends is over 250 characters created by Gary Vaynerchuk. I've got a little hair on my glasses there. That's amazing for this live stream. Created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You might know him as Gary V. If you don't, well, that's why we're called VeeFriends. We've got a cartoon show, wrapped up season 1, 20 episodes on YouTube Kids TV, produced by the same folks that make Coco Melon. We've got the VeeFriends trading card game, highly collectible. Search it on eBay, you'll find out. And then we've got the VeeFriends minis, which are mini topper pencil toppers. Let's just open this one because I have it handy. Set my timers. I'm gonna do some warm-up sketching. Keep my chats live here. We're live on TikTok. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, many places. Let's open this one up. This is the first pencil toppers of the day. What's up, LG? How's it going? Saw we had a comic pop off on. Oh, hey, what do we got? We've got a golden accountable anteater. Let's put this on the pencil for today. Any warm-up sketch requests? Coffee's good today. I don't know what am I drinking today. Okay, it's Highlander cream, which is like one of my go-to. Anyways, VeeFriends Comics, that's what I'm running. We have got the comic books coming out here. We've got comic strips. We're hitting comics from all angles. We've got the comic book coming out. J. Scott Campbell cover. This is coming out, to the public, probably the start of April, actually. I'm just going to say it. It's been a little bit of a delay. I do these live streams Friday. This is not correct. Let's fix this real quick. My goodness. Friday, 3, 7, 8 a.m. I'll be back, and then next week we're looking at a couple mix of different things. I'll be live with Ali next week, and my stream's comics and coffee. That's what this is. It's kind of the morning stream. I've been calling it the morning stream, but some people call it comics and coffee because it's just me in my office. You're here with me, hanging out, and I'm going to draw some comics here and do some warm-up sketching. And if you have any warm-up ideas, skeleton ones I have. Pleasant platypus. Let's do that, Alex. I like that idea. All right. Pleasant platypus for the warm-up. This will be the warm-up. Let's do the whole routine. So if you go to VeeFriends.com, by the way, this is the one not scheduled, but VeeFriends.com. This kind of shows people how to use our site too. So VeeFriends.com, we've got all kinds of cool things happening. Topps Chrome is coming really soon. We're all excited about that. I've had tons of questions asking if I have cards in this set. I do, but I don't want to talk about it too much. There's definitely cards by me in there. All characters. You're going to click all characters. We're going to type in. Let's just type in platypus. There he is, Pleasant Platypus. I'm going to take a picture of screenshot Pleasant Platypus. we'll talk a little bit about him too, because I had a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of alpha on that character. Just take this is the series 1 when Gary drew, because Gary hand drew and created all 280 something VeeFriends. So I like to see his drawing, and I also like to look at the shirt design. Let's see. It used to be easier for me to zoom in on this, but I like to see that pose too. I like to see all the different ways that we've drawn Pleasant Platypus. I think I've drawn him once in a sketchbook before, but not in the comics, I don't believe. Let me just clean the screen off of it real quick. A little smudgy. Alpha on the platypus. I don't know if it's alpha, really. Well, maybe. I mean, no one's really said it out loud. So we can talk about that. And maybe I'll talk. It's really hard because we have 250 characters and there's not much story out there, but there's a lot of notes behind the scenes. Warm up we're doing. I'm just going to pull him in here so we can see it. So we do this. We got this guy. Put him in there. Please don't think that any of the photos in my album or any kind of alpha. I run a drawing club too, so we draw, different things. Daredevil was the other day. So we're not doing any collabs with Daredevil, I promise you. Not yet. It's funny that people will see that. They'll go, hey, what does this Minotaur mean? And I'm like, I was just part of the drawing club. Don't worry about it. Maybe I should start. I've been thinking about, just starting a VeeFriends drawing club. But it's hard enough to run my own drawing club. Okay, so there's our Pleasant Platypus. I've got about 10 minutes to sketch him up. We'll talk about him as I'm drawing. Do I drink coffee, DJ? I do. I drink a lot of coffee. People say, DJ, you need to drink more water. And I say, I drink water all day long. It's got coffee in it. All right. So I'm going to just start by my little pose here. Let's just keep the hand loose. Wow. Loosen it up. I'm looking at the shape of the head. He's got kind of this kind of shape going on, right? Plus the duck bill. So I'll talk about him as I'm working on him a little bit. I like the swimming. So I'm gonna change that pose up a little bit. And go from this angle here. Like swimming. It'll make sense in a second. I'm just getting the basic pose down. Thanks for joining over on Instagram, creating a new character. No, this is I'm doing a warm-up sketch, Pleasant Platypus. This is the warm-up, and then I'll get into actual working on some comics too. Talking about that. So, but this is the Pleasant Platypus. So usually one arm's out, one arm's back, webbed feet. Swim in, we'll put some bubbles. Water them out. It doesn't look like much right now, but we're going to blow this little sketch up. I'm going to fade it out, just for the composition pretty much. And then I will get in here on another layer and start working the actual smoother lines, we'll call it. His beak, or his bill, not his beak, has a very distinctive shape. You can see how Gary drew it. It's kind of longer. This is facing down, so it's kind of curved down a little bit. this part remains the same on the nose bridge. New comic is live. Oh boy. Oh boy. We'll check those out in the new comic after the warm-up. So, Pleasant Platypus. You know, a platypus is a mixture of like a duck, a beaver, and what else? A duck and a beaver, really. So we've got two other characters that are ducks and beavers. Like we got a decisive duck and a boisterous beaver. So I believe, I'm going to pull this up real quick for you to see. I'm not going to show you, but I want to say that I do have the character bio for, and I might just read it to you. Let's do that. I know I wrote it. Let's get in there. I want to read it real quick. Oh no, I'm doing boisterous beaver. No, I want platypus. What am I doing? I'm going to read platypus is what I meant. Platypus. It's early. I haven't had all of my coffee yet today. There we go. A delightful mix of contradictions, Pleasant Platypus is a charming anomaly who defies expectations and embraces their one-of-a-kind self. With the body of a boisterous beaver and the bill of a decisive duck, and the webbed feet of optimistic otter. There we go. I don't know if otters have webbed feet. They are a true original, radiating warmth and confidence. Pleasant Platypus wants to remind you that being different is something to celebrate, and that true beauty lies in embracing our unique qualities. So, Pleasant Platypus here has elements of. Actually, otters do not have webbed feet. We gotta fix that. I don't believe so. I don't want to go down these rabbit holes right now. Do otters have webbed feet? Yes or no in the chat. You guys look it up. You guys look it up and we'll check it out. We'll look at the comments. Help me out. There's 4 people watching over on TikTok. I see you. 3 over on Instagram, and we got 161 total. So there's a lot on X. There's a few on YouTube, Facebook. All right, thanks for sharing that, Robert. Sharing the feed. Yeah, if you're watching and you're able to share the link, talking about this is the warm up for the next 5 minutes or so of Pleasant Platypus. He's swimming. So the idea with Pleasant Platypus is he is a mixture of the traits of boisterous beaver and decisive duck. So he can kind of fill in for them a little bit. He's kind of a mix of them, and a little bit of otter too. So he's optimistic. He's boisterous. He's like flamboyant. Like he's okay to be himself, even though he's a little weird looking to some people. Like, are you a duck? Or are you a beaver? And he's not afraid to get in there and get the work done. He's got the little webbed feet here. We don't see the other foot because it's probably back behind him like that. Or we could, have it stretching a little bit. A little bit too long of a body. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. Just by tucking this in. Maybe his tail could be a little bit longer. Yeah, so he's very related to Decisive Duck and Boisterous Beaver. So, when you need a friend to help you make decisions, and Decisive Duck is not handy, you can always look up the Pleasant Platypus. And also, he's very pleasant, of course. So even if he's going to tell you something that you don't want to hear, he's going to do it in the nicest, most pleasant way. I'm going to change his hands a little bit, just to be like more webby type fingers there. Underwater, so we got some bubbles. Otters have webbed feet, according to Google. Okay, then that was right. The webbed feet. Do otters have webbed feet? I don't believe it. Maybe they do. You never know. Yeah, I guess they do have the little. All right, so it is. He's a mixture of Decisive Duck, Optimistic Otter, and Boisterous Beaver. We got some Maxies out there. Maxies are people that collect one of the characters. There's definitely some Maxies for all three of these, but this is your character that's kind of the amalgamation, we call it, the mix of the three: Decisive, Optimistic, and Boisterous. He's willing to put the hard work in, make quick decisions, not overthink it, stay optimistic when things are going, nuts. And that's our Boisterous Beaver. Not a bad warm-up little sketch. There you go. You learn something new every day. I even wrote that from the notes, and I'm like, wait, now I'm second guessing about. You wouldn't think that otters, like our otter, doesn't really show his webbed feet much. I don't believe. Like even on the cover here, you don't really see really webbed feet. It's very subtle, I guess you could say. Let's find him in the comic. Find him in the comic book here. He's got a couple. Yeah, it's really kind of not seeing too much there. We can change that for sure, especially with the new comics that are coming out. Such a great time. Let's make him underwater here, some little water wave lines. Oh, and also he's got the eyelashes. Don't forget that. It's all mixed up. It's got all different types. There you go. Actually, we always say like how many VeeFriends are underrated. I think Pleasant Platypus is definitely a bit underrated. Most of the VeeFriends are. A comic with all four of them will be cool. Yeah, it would be a good idea actually to develop that out. Okay, so let's grab two minis. Let's do the mini opening. Tell me yellow or green in the chat. Yellow or green in the chat. This is for the next pencil topper. I pulled a golden accountable anteater. Need a lot more accountability in our lives. Accountable anteater. Yellow or green in the chat. We got green Ernest. What's up on TikTok? And then we Chelsea says green. Art by Cintron says green. Green. Green, green, green. I always know that yellow's not going to hit, but alright. We'll put yellow up there next. I open up 5 of these per stream usually. The rule now will be house rules. If I open up a detailed, it automatically bumps countable anteater off the top of the pencil here. If you don't know, these are the VeeFriends minis. They come in these vending machines. They're just pencil toppers, but they're fun. And there's some rarities. I'm always looking for the detailed ones because I have them sitting around everywhere. Like the Humble Hedgehog. I've been hunting a new Humble Hedgehog because he's kind of dinged up. Alright, let's see who's in this one. We've got a bubblegum motivated monster. Does not beat the golden accountable anteater. So there we go. Corso, Corso said that the new comic is up. Let's go take a look at that over on Instagram, if you wouldn't mind. And if you're on TikTok as well, you can leave and probably if it's on TikTok. I'm not sure if it's on TikTok or not. Check it. It's definitely on Instagram. Instagram. Come on. New comics on Instagram. It's Empathy Elephant Week. Chris Faison they've been throwing down that Chris and Allie have been tag teaming the daily strips while I'm working on the Sunday strips and the comic writing and stuff. So hats off to them for some really great strips recently. We've been doing a lot of deep diving behind the scenes. Here we go. This one's spicy. This world's going to hell. Lazy millennials, nobody wants to work. Freeloaders bleeding us dry. And you see the thorns shooting out of him because he's an angry man. He's an angry man. An empathy elephant shows up. Look at yourself. You think hurting them will make your pain go away. So he's helping the man pull the thorns out. I just don't know how to stop. So forcing your own pain on everyone else certainly isn't the answer. So that's kind of the message, and we have a little follow-up with this too coming up, I think Friday or... We got the Empathy Elephant coming up this week and next week. Featured a lot in the... Let's take a look. We'll go to the VeeFriends. But anyways, make sure you like this post. Say that you're on the stream right now. If you're watching me live, say that you're watching live. Hit this little like button. Drop a comment and let us know that you're here. And if you like it or hate it or whatever you feel. I know a lot of guys like this. I know a lot of guys. I'm living in southwestern Pennsylvania. There's a lot of anger. A lot of, we're living in a crazy world right now. This comic really popped off on TikTok, and we try not to get political. We're not trying to be political. It's just that eggs are pretty crazy prices. Like grocery prices are going up. There's people that are on fixed budgets. So this little grandma here. Shout out to Ali Castro for this great art. This guy's kind of unempathetic to her, saying like, "Come on, it's under $10. You can do it. Eggs are only $8. $8 is hardly worth the drama." And then Empathy Elephant shows up. Now we had people criticize this and say like, "Well, Empathy Elephant didn't do anything here. He's waving at the guy and like, whatever." But because he's like, "Yeah, $8 covers my coffee." And this little tiny, look how little she is compared to this jerk in the suit. He's like, "I'm glad someone gets me." And then she's like, $8 is my bus fare to visit my grandchildren. I suppose I'll have to see them next month. And Empathy Elephant's like heartbroken back there. I don't know if you can see that. A little heartbroken. And he's like, "Oh no, I'm sure they're going to be disappointed. I mean, they'll understand, right?" And so the guy changes his mind and pays for her eggs. Now, people that said that Empathy Elephant didn't do anything in this strip, there were some comments over on TikTok. Hey, listen, I get it. Empathy Elephant showed up. So Empathy Elephant showed up to remind this fella, who he obviously knew, to show a little empathy. Don't be a jerk out there, you know. Don't be just slamming on old people or anybody really that can't afford their groceries right now. Some people are on a very fixed budget. A lot of people are losing their job. Also, hat tip to this sign that says 20% on eggs. So that made me laugh. So yeah, you know, empathy. Understanding where people are coming from instead of just... And then I saw a lot of other stuff. You know, everybody makes everything political, which is sad. It's very sad. But someone was like, oh, it's an elephant and it's Republican. Well, that doesn't... That's sad that's, you know, the visual for that. And to us, it's about empathy and, you know, caring about each other and kind of feeling, even if you don't agree with somebody else's take, trying to empathize with where they're coming from. Why do they feel that way? Who made them feel that way? That kind of thing, you know? We got a little bit deeper. Gotta go a little bit deeper. Yeah, we can't let we can't let politics have the elephant or the donkey or whatever. Like our logo is the black cat. That's why VeeFriends logo is the black cat, because people think it's unlucky. Here she is. People are like frightened by this oh my god, it's a black cat. Right? We gotta stop that. We gotta stop that way of thinking. Okay. Let's start a whole new one, because I gotta get a little bit ahead here. This next comic will be, this is my layout for a blank board, so then the center here is a little layout. So just like I did that little scribble a little earlier, I'm going to just start with just some real loose... Okay. Even make my brush size a little bigger. And I just want to be messy. I want to just scribble a little bit. I want to figure out, you know, where do things go. I know what this one is. This one, the concept is there's someone that really is dreaming of starting their own like coffee shop. And they're like, you know, uncertain. Like, because they're like, oh, these are uncertain times. I don't know if I should do that right now. Like, how do I, you know, do that? And I like this thing that we did inside this comic strip where it's a girl writing a letter to Optimistic Otter, and then you can send your letters as well. By the way, if you're new to VeeFriends, email us at comics@veefriends.com. If it's your first time, we'd like to send you something. Yeah. So I like that concept. We're trying to establish that to get people from the newspapers to send in their, you know, their own letters, their fan mail, whatever. You can send your letters to comics@veefriends.com. So, where was I? This person's over here. They're kind of bored. Like, you can see it's just a scribble. I can see it already, but I'm just scribbling it out a little bit. They're kind of like bummed out, bored. Not bored, but like not like they have dreams, but everybody else is like, oh, you shouldn't open a business in this economy, blah, 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 blah. And so then the VeeFriends logo will be here. And then we'll have the letter flowing. This thing will go there. And then we'll have a member of the staff getting the letter over here. Probably optimistic otter. And it's basically about ambition. Like, the world, if you're not dreaming big for yourself, then who's dreaming for you is kind of the undertone of this message from Gary. And I want to feature Ambitious Angel kind of getting, you know, the job here. So he's like, Ambitious Angel, can you? She's like, reporting for duty or something like that. Let's put her wings over here, a little halo. Right. And then I like the idea of these just being these strips right here. So we're gonna just, this will be a strip. This will be a strip. This is what we call the rough stage, but I'm going to get up there into the header and start working on some hero images for this. But I like taking this format of Sunday comics and kind of really opening it up a little bit. So I think like what I want her to do is kind of like fly. I don't know how we'll have her fly in and around like that throughout the whole thing. That's my idea. So she's going to whoosh back into this frame here and be like, and this person's going to be like, oh. Maybe kind of like, she'll have her finger out. And she'll be saying the thing. And they'll be like, whoa, Ambitious Angel. And then maybe like a face, you know, face-to-face kind of thing happening here. So she's kind of like the angel that's like looking out for you. Gary's got a lot more to say about this character that I won't spoil, but think about a guardian angel, but in the sense of there to inspire you to think bigger, dream bigger. Like, why not? Why keep your dreams small? So the big message here is that if you shoot for the moon, you might not end up on the moon. You might not get there, but you might end up at the top of the mountain, right? But if you keep you got to dream super big to do that. So this is the crux of this part. So I'm gonna just blow that up for the sake of this stream. I'm gonna blow this little sketch up just to kind of get the shape of what's going on here. That's fine. This is a rough sketch. I'll be penciling in some of the hero images, we call them. The hero images are like the key, you know, it's like these things here. Like, let me show you real quick. Like cat in a box. Or crab in a bottle. Boisterous beaver, stand fine water. Yeah, and then somebody said like we're out of touch because we say to avoid the noise, but I don't think it's about avoiding the noise out there. I think it's about rising above the noise a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, I used to be really stirred up, man, you know, about stuff, and you know, very like punk rock about a lot of stuff, and I think it's not really productive to be so angry and whatever. And yeah, things might not be going the way that you want them to, but history shows us that things go back and forth and back and forth. So what are you going to do? You know, are you going to like just get caught in those currents and be paralyzed? I talk to a lot of artists, so I know that a lot of people are not feeling very creative right now. I'm not gonna draw the boring guy there. I'm gonna focus in on the otter with the letter here. Draw something interesting on. I don't want to draw the boring stuff on the streams here. But I think people need, people really want somebody to comment and tell them it's okay, it's going to be all right, or here's what to do next, because you feel like, I don't know what to do. Whether that's anything, it could be you're having a divorce, you're having something very personal happening to you. Someone passes away, you have a divorce. God forbid, you lose a friend or a family member or something, and you don't know what to do. You're just like, what do I do? And then everything just seems so like tone deaf out there when you're hurting. So a lot of people are hurting right now, and being tone deaf to it and saying like, and not feeling it. That sucks. You should be. And you can't fight against people that are, you can't just stay fighting. You can't be in a fighting stance all the time. Sometimes you gotta take a deep breath and be patient. Things will change for the better at some point. Seem like it. Avoid the noise. Adaptable alien systems. Elon's pressing in on Earth. It's really wild. Not to get too deep on everybody on this stream, but I'm a stoic, so there's just a hard truth is that all the things we worry about, 99% of them in the world, the things that you're freaking out about, don't matter. And all the people that are big today, emperors and movie stars, and they'll be gone. We're all going to be gone. That sounds a little bleak, It sounds a little bit like, oh man, that's pretty rough, but it's actually hopeful, because it's like, you know what? You got to live while you're here, and don't let, what are you living for? What sets you on fire? If it's something political, then good luck with you. Like that, politics are some people's jam. So is business and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. That's Gary's jam. That's kind of our jam. Being kind and nice and trying to be like, what's the meaning of life? Like, I think it's just to help others while you're here. And you might look around the world and think, well, that's not nice. These people aren't being nice. So what? Yeah, jerks exist. They've always existed. Or they don't think that they're jerks. They think they're doing good. You're the jerk. And then there's a fight going on. And it's like, nah. What are you going to do? I'm going to make him at his desk. I want like a little otter's desk here just for funsies. I'll put something funny there. He's the otter in chief. The auditor? An auditor? Like editor in chief? Auditor in chief? We're just spitballing here live. I don't know. Let's make it work. Auditor. 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 Ew, auditor. Otter in chief. We'll just stick with that. I might make it work. Alright, otter in chief. optimistic otter. Trying to stay optimistic in tough times is you know, it's a skill that you got to work on and build. Shane said not to be political is too hard. It's quite hard these days for sure. Yeah, it is. Just like people want to talk about the weather. I was thinking about this morning. People go, oh man, it's sunny today. It's going to be rainy tomorrow, because they don't have anything else to talk about. I'm going to move him down a little bit. You see, these blue sections don't really matter. These blue sections are going to go away, but they do create kind of a grid for me as I'm blocking out these panels. So I'll keep it there for right now because I just kind of like that. I want this hero image of our ambitious angel kind of flying in. But yeah, humans are we're complicated creatures, man. So many of us are unhappy, and I really feel like there's there's a loneliness epidemic in the world. People feel lonely, and whether that makes them sad or hurt or angry or whatever, it's just like Yoda said, all that stuff leads to kind of dark places, So, and you might not have friends. You might have, you might not have a good group of friends or family to help you kind of be inspired. And that's kind of what I think, or what we think, even though these are not real beings, technically, but the VeeFriends community, the VeeFriends characters, the spirit of VeeFriends is there for you to kind of help you this will be a halo. She's got kind of like a little bean nose, like a little button nose. Big eyes on the ambitious angel. Big, friendly eyes. And then 2 eyelashes, I believe. That. And haircut's just a short haircut. Eyebrows there. Hey, if you would like maybe a free shirt or something, send us a letter, comics@VeeFriends.com. Let us know what you're thinking of the comics, and if you're new, let us know too. If you're new, let us know. Or fan mail. We'd like to hear from you. Corso and I read those. Or fan art. We can't take your ideas. We can't take your story ideas or anything like that, but we like to see your fan art. Send it to comics@VeeFriends.com. We'd appreciate hearing from you, especially if you're watching right now. And don't forget to like on YouTube and comment on YouTube as well, and share these streams. We're building this brand. It's kind of like a Pokemon meets therapy. That's what we're talking about here this morning. A little bit. Got a lot of friends that are, like I said, I have a lot of friends that are artists, and they're finding it hard to be creative right now because they're scared, or they're, rough for them. But you gotta, my advice is to just push through. It's hard, but life is hard sometimes. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. With the challenges, bring the change. And if you got the right mindset, usually for the better. All right. She got a little star on her chest. And her wings are pretty wild. I pretty much know how to do those by memory by now. Ears are a little big. The head's a little wide. I'm gonna round this off a little bit. I don't know what that timer's for, but I'm just gonna keep going. Thanks for Adaptable Alien for checking in. He's got to run. Whatever Adaptable Alien's doing there on Instagram. Thanks for watching, sharing the stream. Appreciate you guys just hanging out for a minute. Hopefully you have a great day. What is it? Wednesday? Boy, it's March 5th. I can't believe that. That is crazy to me. Let's draw another little scheme in here. We'll start with the head. Her hands will be coming down. She doesn't have a wand like Fairy, but she definitely flies in, kind of like Fearless Fairy. She's just flying and encouraging people to be ambitious. Like, so for instance, this person's dreaming of opening a coffee shop but not sure. She's going to come in. Other people will say like, oh, you shouldn't do that. The economy's bad. Ambitious Angel would be like, why not two? Why not think of what it's like to have 2 coffee shops or a chain of them or a coffee empire? It's very ambitious. But the idea is if you shoot for the stars, you might end up at the top of the mountain. You might end up at the stars too, but you know, it could be. We'll work on that a little bit. Halo is always hanging out there. Morning, Gypsy Gardner. Instagram. Hope you're having a good morning. Wherever you are in the world. Where is everybody in the world? I know where Craig's at. He's down in Australia. I really want this to work. I really want this to be like like she even forms the tops of the panels. Pretty interesting to me. Like her motion line. And I think she's probably just waving at the person. Good morning, everyone switched over here from Facebook. Yeah, there's a lot of chat going on over on the YouTube channel. Sorry. Gypsy Garner says, I love that lovely rainbow planet that the alien and astronaut are fishing on. Let's take a look at that real quick. There you go. Ali Castro drew that on the drawing board stream. By the way, I hope that you're following us on all these channels, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, for @VeeFriends Comics. We'll be doing a lot more live streams like that, but also over on, where are we at here? On our Whatnot stream, we've got these drawing board shows on Whatnot. So tomorrow, Corso and I will be live at 10 a.m. You never know what we're going to draw on the drawing board stream. It might not be comics. It may be comics. It might be a sticker design. And then check out the live shows from VeeFriends that are not drawing streams. We've got Sunny Boy Comics. They're doing live VeeFriends pin breaks and giveaways. And that's where that drawing came from Ali Castro on the team. Suggested in the chat, people suggested the characters. They're fishing on the rainbow planet. That's adaptable alien and adventurous astronaut. This is a great time for you to go over to the Instagram comics and follow us on Instagram, VeeFriends Comics on Instagram, if you're on Instagram. Follow us, like the posts there. This one is live today, watching live. I see Mia, VeeFriends the Bees, happy morning. Rogolf, Spaceman Collects, commented live. Comment live on these. Here, Empathy Elephant shows up to help an old timer get less angry and pull those angry thorns out of himself, I like the way that Chris Faison draws our Empathy Elephant. I like the way that he draws all the characters. Now that I'm looking at it, he's not drawing the eye color though. Chris, come on. No, it's fine. I'm like a stickler for the eye color. I like getting in there and putting in the eye colors. You'll see here. I won't show that strip yet. But like brown. It's usually brown, brownish red. There's a couple characters that have. He's got some like orangish brown. I'm a stickler for the eye colors. I love it. D. Coleman's in California. Who else? Where else? My Gypsy Gardener said they're in Florida, I think. Maya's in Nia is in Taiwan. Hello. From all the way over here. Thanks for watching. Gypsy Gardener's East Coast, Florida. Love Florida. Not a big fan of the bugs in Florida, to be honest. Some giant insects down there. Pimento bugs or whatever. We did a warm-up strip earlier of Pleasant Platypus. You can go back and watch that on the replay. We talked about how Pleasant Platypus is kind of a mix of Decisive Duck, Optimistic Otter, and Boisterous Beaver. So they have all these traits: decisiveness, optimism, and just being their unique self, being very boisterous and excited to get it done. Make decisions and go. Decides real fast, goes get the work done, stays positive doing it. Pretty cool. So we're jumping all over the place. I'm working on the Sunday comic strips. If you didn't know, we have newspapers in the comics in the newspaper across the country. People are collecting these up, and that's what I'm working on. There are these strips that are in the actual newspaper. So I'm working on several ideas, and then Gary and I will go back and forth on them. This is one about the black cat that I started yesterday. I'm going to just jump in here and do some inks on that real quick. So I'm going to jump around a lot when I'm on these streams, but it's kind of fun to get in here and do a little bit of inking and just kind of whatever I'm feeling. But I'm watching your comments. Do I foresee that they might expand locations? Right now, that's just with Lee. So if Lee expands locations, we're in all Lee newspapers. I think that's probably their goal. You know, they want to definitely get more papers, I'm sure. But we've had a lot of people ask for the comics. We will provide them in some way. I'm debating putting them on the comics archive on our website, but I didn't want to right away, if that makes sense. Just because it's the deal with Lee, and we want to make sure that we're, you know, that's supposed to be like an exclusive thing with Lee, and they're cool with us putting it up. But I also love when people are going out there and getting the actual newspapers and taking pictures of it. So if they thought they could just read the comic, you know. Interestingly enough, I saw someone sold 2 newspapers for $30 a piece on eBay of the issue 1. So that's interesting as well. So with the cat, since he's black, or she's black, a lot of people say, like, was it a guy or a girl? Or I say she. You know, Gary will just say it's a cat. It's a cat. Don't overthink it too much. But I always say she. It's a nice black cat. So I like to get the general shapes of the blacks, and then the eyes open, like, whoa. That's why I put a little, we want that. Just kind of like subtle, we'll do like a subtle dark gray, and I might just do like a highlight color on top of the head, top of the ear. I'm going to fill this with black here in a second. You can use the highlights to, when there's an all black character like that, the lines of the highlights can kind of give the shape of the arms and the little thigh. I think if I just fill that in right now, then you go, away you go, but we don't have it closed. Let's see here. See that? Same thing there. We'll just a little bit of that there. In this case, the cat's being like woken up by these people that are screaming. Bearman and Bob over here. Let's block out just a little bit. Sometimes it's like just subtle enough. You're getting a little bit of a suggestion of where the paws are and claws, or other foot, other arm or leg. I mean, Hidden art within the art. I like to do that. I like to hide things. Mexico, Rogolf, what's up? Rogolf's in Mexico. Howdy. Refresh this real quick. Okay. Looks like I froze up. I don't like that. Okay, so we're just kind of randomly inking through these Sunday comics. Got a little perspective pigeon here. I'm not too... I don't like that. He's here to remind the people that they can change their perspective about black cats. Well, we were just talking about the, the comic with the elephant. Empathy Elephant really popped off. It's got over 260,000 views over on TikTok, but a lot of people are like changing it to political, saying that all elephants are Republicans and things like that. And it's like that's kind of echoes the same thing that we're talking about. When you see a black cat, you think bad luck, and we don't think that. We think that you don't have to believe the stories that you've been told about what something means. It doesn't mean. So when you see an elephant or a black cat, you think bad luck. Well, we're like, no. It's the idea that you don't have to follow that narrative. You can even create your own, You can take a symbol that was, some symbols you can, but an icon and change it to mean anything you want. It could be an oak tree, and it could symbolize something personal for you, and it's not for anyone else. Don't let people tell you that you can't do that. Try to stay focused and on target with your goals. It's real easy to get sidetracked by the noise in social media, the news, and the noisy world. When I saw that, I read the comments, but I don't really care about, I don't get upset about them. If someone says like we're tone deaf or something like that, I'm like, no way. Like we're all very opinionated in things, but that's not what this brand is. The VeeFriends brand is not out there to be political or whatever. If anything, we're there to tell you that you should kind of meet in the middle a little bit more. Like, understand where other people are coming from. How do we get here? Where are we going? Like, how can we make a difference in our own lives? Communities, small communities too. Today in space, I am enjoying some Highlander cream from Presto George in Pittsburgh. Presto George, some of the best coffee roasters around. And Highlander cream's kind of like a subtle, like butterscotch kind of flavor. we'll switch back to the other comic. Presto George is all one word. They ship for free too if you do a big order. You thank me later. Really good coffee. I've been drinking that coffee since like 1996. Either go to the Strip District in Pittsburgh to get it, or like I said, just order it on the internet. I like their blends and good stuff. Really hard for me to live without caffeine, to be 100% real. I am fueled or sparked by the caffeine right now, so you know. You ever see a cat that's like startled or stretching, and they're kind of like razorback? Whoa! All right, nope. We're gonna have that little subtle line of highlight. There we go. All right, is it time to open up? Let's do it. Do green. Well, you know what? I'm just going to open up the yellow because no one's going to pick the yellow. Again, when I take this little mini break like this, these are the VeeFriends minis. This is a golden accountable anteater. My house rules are a detailed will automatically beat the other one off the top of the pencil. And that's how I play. Little mini break. Break it up, reset the stream. Who's watching live? What's going on? Are you reading VeeFriends comics? We've got an Emerald Humble Hedgehog, which is the other version of the detailed Humble Hedgehog. I'm looking for another detailed Humble Hedgehog. I have yet to hit that. But that does not beat the golden accountable anteater. So we'll set them up there. That's four. Four I've opened on the stream. Yeah, so I'm drawing what the VeeFriends newspaper comic strip. But we also we're covering comics from all different types of angles here. We've got newspapers, which are a bigger thing that's going out to over 1 million people now every weekend, which is amazing for VeeFriends, to be honest. Wonderful brand awareness out there for VeeFriends in the newspapers. And then we have I'm just going to start calling our web comics, because that's kind of what they are. They're on the web. You can see those live on our TikTok, Instagram. Let's see here. At VeeFriends Comics on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You can mainly read them on Instagram and TikTok every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The VeeFriends webcomics, they cover a lot of different characters. Like last 2 weeks was Hardworking Wombat, so he was featured in a lot of comics. This week will be our Empathy Elephant week, couple weeks. So we try to stick to the character of the week sort of thing, because we just do to kind of really focus in on, VeeFriends. You can see on our VeeFriends account, which is just straight up the brand VeeFriends, we're also doing a deep dive into characters like Empathy Elephant. And you can see a little traits about him, Empathy is as simple as I'm here for you. little ways he's been drawn from version 1 or series 1 to series 2 to comic style, manga style to cartoon style in the Moonbug cartoon or the YouTube Kids cartoon. His ears and trunk glow whenever he senses hidden emotions. There's the trading card. And just to learn a little bit more about the characters as we get into more things like Topps Chrome is coming out. You can also watch the news. There's Corso. Great thumbnail, Corso. But they've been making a lot of little animations and stuff for the characters over there. But if you want to read the comics, you definitely want to be at VeeFriends Comics to read the comic strips. Then, so we've got newspapers, comic strips, and then we've got comic books coming out. And this is more like a longer form stories, really kind of building out the VeeFriends world a little bit. Like, where are they from? What are they, what's going on? What are they about? Look at Balance Beetle back there, just levitating. He's so balanced, he just floats away. And what's this? This is a rare robot cruising through in a vehicle. This is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for people to read this very soon. So we're hitting comics from all angles. We love comics here. I'm DJ, the director of comics here at VeeFriends, and then we've got Chris Faison on the team. We've got Ali Castro on the team, and Corso, who is not an artist yet, but Corso helps us in all things comics and story, organizing all of the character bios, really helping out with that. It's quite a lot of work behind the scenes that's going on, and again, I would like you to go follow us on those channels and read the comics. Really wonderful comics. The web comics are just kind of one and done. I think we might expand a little bit more into more storytelling with longer form strips, but for now, working on the Sunday strips is what I'm focused on my streams. What coffee am I drinking? I'm drinking the Presto George coffee from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it's called Highlander Cream. Highlander Cream. It's kind of like a butterscotch Irish cream sort of thing. It's very subtle though. Just a nice creamy kind of flavor. without the cream, I guess. Could say. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to work with these characters and put them out. The alien and the astronaut is my favorite so far. Yeah, a lot of people like that one, and that one came from a live stream. Ali drew that live on a drawing board show. And it came together great. I think Ali's going to be doing a lot more. Ali's going to be doing a lot more random jumping on TikTok live and just being live on TikTok to draw her strips, or just a little bit of the process, maybe like an hour here or there. And then I'm usually here. I'm a morning person, so I'm here 8 a.m. Eastern time on Insta-Talk. That's VeeFriends Comics on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, or what we call Insta-Talk. The trifecta. Somebody asked if we're on Blue Sky or Blue Ski. I think we do have a Blue Sky. I'm not sure if we're updating. Like, it's just another channel, you know. I'm not really sure there's a big following on there, so we do have one. If you want to follow us on there, maybe we'll put it in our rotation of places to update. But for now, you know, we're on the main channels. And VeeFriends is over 250 characters on a mission to, you know, make positivity louder and talk about things like patience. We got Patient Panda here. Empathy Elephant. How to have more gratitude in your life. But in a fun way. Not like a boring way. You know. Even just working on these characters myself has made me think about that stuff a lot more. Patience. Being actively kind. Not just going out in the world and being a robot to go to the grocery store, but like making sure you're like thinking like, I'm gonna hold the door for that person, or I'm gonna, oh, here's someone in need, I'm not gonna avoid that situation, I'm gonna help that lady with, you know, I'm gonna help this person, I see them struggling, I'm not just gonna like ignore them, you know. You could lend a hand, you know, or compliment someone in a non-creepy way. Don't, you know, be careful, don't be creepy, but you know, you can compliment someone, say, I like that hat, you know, nice hat, you know. People, because deep down, you know, we're all kind of the same. We're all kind of the same. We're different, but we're the same. You know, everybody wants to be heard and seen and felt, you know. Not felt, like don't be going around touching people. I'm not saying that. But I mean, like, people want to feel heard, you know. And don't go around just hugging people randomly. Don't do that. I'd be careful with that. Might weird some people out if you're hugging people all the time. Funny enough. Funny story. When I was at that convention recently, this nice lady came up and introduced herself. I won't go too far into who she was, but she couldn't hear really well because it was very loud. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's not the party. I woke up with a ear infection. I can't hear out of that ear." And then she shook my hand as she was saying that. And I think when we were all parting ways, everybody hugged, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna get sick." And I did definitely get sick at that show, so I got a little cold. So I'm always like trying not to, you know. I like to shake hands, you know. I shake someone's hand or fist bump or something like that. I'll do that. But you gotta, you know, if you're sick, maybe stay home. I don't know. Or if you're sick, maybe just don't hug people. I don't know. Oh, you know what that's called? That's called common sense. If you don't feel good, don't be hugging people. All right? Oh, this is like a puppet show now. I can just do that. Hey, listen. If you're not feeling good, you might want to take the day off and don't go to a party and don't hug people, all right? Okay. All right. Common sense, everybody. You don't know who washes their hands. I know. It's so wild. It's wild. It's such a simple thing, you know? But I actually heard someone say, and maybe you've thought this too, it's because, like I said, we're all the same, some of us we're different, but we're the same. And people have said things to me like, well, I got sick, so I don't care. I'm going to go spread it. if someone else gets sick, I'm just spreading it along. I'm like, oh man, that's not the right way to be. like, why would you do that? All right, his little hand's a little small over here. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Just do this, just a little bit bigger. Because if you think about a hand, if it was on his face, it wouldn't really cover up most of his face. So like, put it on his face there, and now you got a little bit. That's better. That's kind of what I do. Clean it up. Right? Yeah. Oh, you know, hands can be difficult to draw until they're not. You know, like basically, all hands are. You know, I like to do if you do like a mitten like that, or like a bean, and then you can cut the bean in half. So then, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, and then the thumb kind of goes off there. Palm. Start to see those shapes. So, you know, just draw that. And then there's going to be this thumb hanging off the side. Finger, 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 finger. The more you practice it, the easier it gets a little bit. Especially cartoon hands, you can't really go too wrong. Or if, like, you know, it's a finger or just cylinders. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. When you're just starting out drawing, you have to think about these forms a lot. Looks kind of like a skeleton hand. Tapping his finger. Right. Just takes a lot of. I've been doing it for so long that I just kind of see that stuff without having to look at it. Left on this stream. I'm gonna jump to some other meetings or other things, other tasks I've got to do today. Doing a lot. Everybody hasn't seen what we've been working on. I don't like to show it every stream, but if you catch new streams coming up, you'll see some behind the scenes of what we're working on and new comic books coming soon. Very soon. I've been saying that for a long time, I know. But I promise. It's going to be soon. I kind of want, I said yesterday I want her to be clutching her pearls a little bit, so I think I'm going to do that. Okay, let's switch back to the pencils. Basic shape of a hand, I think like a mitten. She's gonna be having some pearls. It's just funny that she's like clutching her pearls on instead of the hand up in the air. Okay. We can just get rid of that. it so I don't get confused and accidentally draw two hands. Don't want to do that. Hi, I see you haven't responded to my comments regarding your MP comic. I think we might have, but I will, or somebody will. Could you explain why you're calling that empathy when it's clearly sympathy? I think it's very closely related. Allie wrote that one, but I mean, I don't know. The thing about it is, okay, you're here live. Let's talk about it live. I'm going to go to the Instagram though. If you're not familiar with VeeFriends, welcome to VeeFriends, by the way. We have over 250 characters with a lot of those different traits. So you see here, this is the comic that Alexa's talking about over there in the TikTok chat. TikTok blew up with this one, so there's a lot of people that are like, you know, angry, and they're like, oh, elephants are Republicans. That's BS. Like, that's, black cats aren't bad luck. Elephants aren't Republicans. This is empathy elephant. But Alexa said here, this was sympathy for the old lady that can't afford the eggs. Well, in the story context maybe of understanding VeeFriends, and it'll become a lot more clear, empathy elephant shows up and knows this person, right? So this guy he's lacking empathy for this lady's situation. She has a situation. She can't afford these eggs. She's on a tight fixed budget. She's also very short. But he's just showing up and being there. And just by empathy elephant being there, he's kind of reminding this guy, if you see. Now we see. This is the panel with empathy, not sympathy. Like, sympathy is like, you know, he does end up paying for her. That's kind of a sympathetic gesture, but it can be both. But by empathy elephant showing up and making him realize he was being kind of a jerk by not understanding this woman's plight, because he's not in the same situation. They don't wear the same shoes. I don't know what this dude is. He's like a rock star Wall Street guy, or he wears a fancy suit. I know more people like this young lady who can't afford that. And so empathy elephant's kind of just, you know, there to point that out, to remind him when empathy elephant is around, that's what happens, right? And then it is nice to do a gesture. Like, it's nice to go out there and be like not the jerk. Like, I can't even imagine this. If I saw this guy talking smack in the grocery store, well, I'd be all about being like, hey man, you shut your face. So don't get it too wrong, and don't be too loosen up a little bit. It's okay. You could be empathetic and sympathetic at the same time. It doesn't have to be like, this is empathy elephant, so we cannot talk about sympathy. How dare we? Or how do we talk about patient panda and hard work and patience at the same time? We do that. We do that a lot. We've got 250 characters that kind of really bounce off each other, and apparently it's got over 6,000 likes, so a lot of people understood it and liked it. But it's okay if you didn't. I get it. Sometimes it's a little confusing, and we're working hard to listen to feedback, and we do a lot behind the scenes with that. I'll show you. If you're here listening, and I'm not coming at you in any way, I'm just showing you. This is our store. This is our giant Miro board, okay? And let's just zoom in on Allie's storyboard here, because maybe it'll give you some kind of reasoning. These are our 20 top overarching lessons of VeeFriends. We call them lessons, themes. Choose people that lift you up. You have to love yourself first. Adversity is the foundation of success. Failure is the greatest teacher. Your word is your bond. 99% of these things don't matter, by the way. Optimism takes more strength than cynicism. Fear is fake. These are all very wholesome, like good things to learn in your life. We try to instill these, and they're numbered when we write our scripts. You can see Allie's working on a lot of different scripts, or these are some of the ones that she's done in the past. We try to really say, hey, this is 3 and 14, and the script's in here, and we review them together and look at them. And here we go. Here's the young man and the old lady and her comic. So 19 and 14. 19 and 14. Grocery store aisle. Here's the script for this. She's torn. It's the same as you see in the comic, but 19 and 14. So like, let's look. 19. It's okay to change your mind and start over. That young man was like, whoa, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that lady's situation. That's empathy. I'm putting myself in her shoes for a minute. Oh man, right? And 14, right? So it was 14. Empathy for the bully stops the bully. All right. So we didn't just tell this guy he's trash and get out of here. We kind of had to talk through it, or he had to see the situation to realize that he was like, ooh, I forgot. An empathy elephant there is there to remind him. So that's right. You don't have to go so deep. It's a comic. We do have to go so deep because it's not just a comic. It's VeeFriends, and we're a bigger brand. We're not just comics. We're here to. These characters should be, we want you to think about empathy. Next time you think about empathy, you're probably going to think about an elephant. And next time you think about bad luck and you think of a black cat, you might think that that's BS. And it doesn't have to be that way, right? So it's not just a, haha escapism. It's deeper than that. And on top of that, we have, we do have merchandise. We have trading card game and things like that. We're very like building like a Pokemon style. Well, I really liked what someone said in the chat the other day. Pokemon meets therapy with some deeper characters and stuff. Why are you saying you can go deep, but your readers shouldn't? That's not a good faith disagreement. No, you can go deep and you can see it however you'd like to see it. For sure. But understanding the brand, understanding where we're coming from with VeeFriends before, throwing up a label or something at us is, I'm going to defend the comics a little bit. And when we're wrong, like, if we're like, yeah, that one didn't really hit. Like, if you could see our internal meetings that we have with the comics team, we might talk about it and be like, yeah, that one didn't really hit too well. Or maybe we could have tried it from this angle or that angle. Or, you know what, Alexa, maybe you have a point. Maybe we say, hey, that was more sympathy than it was empathy, but that's okay. Because it could be both. But you're implying we don't know the difference between empathy and sympathy is what you're implying, so that's not true. It's not true. We're not, you get it. You can be both. You can be empathetic and then choose to be sympathetic, right? Anyways, it was a kind gesture in a comic, and there you go. Yeah, I mean, political iconography is everything. Even with, you see a mouse with big ears, you think Mickey Mouse. You see a black cat, you think bad luck. It's how humans are trained. What we're trying to tell you is, well, I don't even think about it. Like, honestly, we don't look at Empathy Elephant internally and go, oh, people might think that's a Republican. Or I don't think we have a donkey. We don't have a donkey, do we? No. But whatever labels other people made, an animal or a trait or something like that, doesn't have to be the rules. Just because it was generationally said that that's what it was, or superstitions, like that's what this comic is about. Is most people don't even know that black cats were kind of worshipped for good luck in ancient Egypt. But somehow in the Middle Ages, the medieval times, black cats became bad luck because their eyes would glow in the darkness, yellow and weird, freaky, and people didn't understand. Just like people used to think that not too long ago, people used to think that flies came from bad food. Like not even 1800s. That's how simple humans are. So anyways, appreciate you reading the comics and engaging, and there's a lot of people that obviously like that comic, so you know. Yeah, and we do character weeks and things too. So we did Hardworking Wombat for 2 weeks, and then switching off and on. But anyways, I hope everybody has a great day. I gotta get out of here, actually. I'm running over time. This is VeeFriends Comics. Make sure you follow us on VeeFriends Comics on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And get out there, do something nice for each other. There's a lot of bad stuff. Robaflock says, it's time for a donkey character. We don't need any new VeeFriends yet. Gary's got some, but we're not gonna. No new VeeFriends yet. We got to develop the ones that we have. We have a lot of work ahead of us. It's 255 characters on a mission to make positivity louder. We're in the daily newspaper. We're in the weekly newspapers. Sorry. We've got webcomics coming out. We've got weekend newspapers. We've got comic books coming very soon. Comic books, full adventures. Cynical Cat, Flex and Fox, Practical Peacock, Optimistic Otter, Balanced Beetle back there in the back. Excited about these comics, guys. And if you're new to VeeFriends and you're hanging out and you like this, comics@VeeFriends.com. We might even send you something cool. We might, you know, even if we disagree. To disagree, we can all communicate together in a nice way. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you real soon on the next stream. Friday. I'll be back Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. Actually, tomorrow we've got, oh my goodness. Tomorrow we're on Whatnot at 10 a.m. We're on the Whatnot app. Whatnot app, 10 a.m. Corso and I will be there. Drawing live. I don't know what I'll be drawing yet. It might be a Sunday comic. It might be a sticker. It might be a werewolf. Who knows? But I will see you then.